Looking to create your own content on the world's second largest search engine? And talking about YouTube, my YouTube content service has you covered. With over 2 billion monthly active users, YouTube is a powerful platform to help you having an engaged audience. I will work with you to create an engaging and high-quality content that is tailored to your audience needs. You have an example of my scary stories content. You can do whatever content you feel comfortable with. Contact me by mail at anigianus3@gmail.com. I will give you my secret of pro voiceover for free and where to find a free content even in many languages. Also a powerful keywords tool to rank your YouTube channel without showing your face. You can create many YouTube channels with different languages and different niches, but I prefer to start with one first and focus on it. I will talk to you one-to-one. Let me help you take your YouTube channel to the next level with my comprehensive YouTube content service. You can check this channel YouTube Radio. I created it about 20 days, and I have now 60% United States audience and the others from United Kingdom and Canada. With my service, you can earn up to $2,000 and more monthly from YouTube ads only. Of course, while you growing, your earning grows too. And you can earn thousands of dollars from affiliate marketing too. So I will give you a full YouTube business steps to start over, with an effort at first, and you will earn it after. The price of my service is $100. With your work and my secrets YouTube content, after few months you will earn that $100 daily, maybe more. Welcome to YouTube business. Now, let's get in a deep real ghost story. St. Augustine, Florida, is known as one of the most haunted cities in America, with a rich history dating back to the 16th century when Spanish explorers first arrived. There are many ghost stories associated with the city, but one of the most famous and terrifying is the story of the Ghost Bride. Legend has it that in the late 1800s, a young woman named Elizabeth was engaged to be married to a wealthy merchant. They planned to get married in St. Augustine and start a new life together. But on the day of the wedding, Elizabeth's fiancé never showed up. Distraught and heartbroken, Elizabeth put on her wedding dress and wandered the streets of St. Augustine. As the sun began to set, she made her way to the Hotel Alcazar, where she checked into room 207. Over the next few days, hotel staff noticed that Elizabeth never left her room. They knocked on her door, but she never answered. Eventually, they became concerned and used a master key to enter the room. To their horror, they found Elizabeth's lifeless body lying on the bed, still wearing her wedding dress. To this day, guests at the Hotel Alcazar report seeing the ghost of a young woman in a wedding dress wandering the halls and disappearing into room 207. Many claim to have heard strange noises and footsteps in the room, even when it's unoccupied. Some guests have even reported feeling a cold breeze and the sensation of someone tugging on their hair or dress. But the story doesn't end there. In the 1930s, the hotel was converted into the Lightner Museum, and room 207 became a storage room for antique musical instruments. Museum staff reported strange occurrences, including the unexplained sound of a piano playing and instruments being moved around in the middle of the night. To this day, the Ghost Bride of St. Augustine remains one of the most famous and chilling ghost stories in Florida. Visitors to the city can still stay at the Lightner Museum and may even have a chance encounter with the ghostly bride herself. According to the legend, after Elizabeth's death, her spirit remained in the Hotel Alcazar, haunting the room where she died. Some guests have reported seeing her ghostly figure standing at the window, looking out onto the street below. Others have claimed to have seen her sitting at the end of the bed, staring silently into space. In addition to sightings of the Ghost Bride, there have been other strange occurrences reported in the hotel over the years. Guests have reported hearing strange noises, including footsteps, slamming doors, and even the sound of a woman weeping. Some have also reported feeling a strange coldness in the air and feeling as though someone is watching them. The story of the Ghost Bride has become so well known that it has been featured on various paranormal television shows, including Ghost Hunters and Ghost Adventures. It has also been the subject of several books and documentaries. Despite the many reports of ghostly activity at the Leitner Museum, some skeptics argue that there is no evidence to support the legend of the Ghost Bride. They point out that there are no historical records to confirm the story of Elizabeth's tragic death, and that the sightings of the ghost could simply be the result of overactive imaginations. Whether the legend of the Ghost Bride is true or not, it remains one of the most popular ghost stories in St. Augustine, and a fascinating part of the city's haunted history. More information on the history and significance of the Leitner Museum, which is now housed in the former Hotel Alcazar. The Hotel Alcazar was built in 1888 by millionaire Henry Flagler, who was instrumental in developing Florida's East Coast as a winter resort destination. The hotel was designed by architects Carrere and Hastings, who also designed the New York Public Library and the Ponce de Leon Hotel in St. Augustine. The hotel was a luxurious and grand establishment, featuring a Turkish bath, a bowling alley, and the world's largest indoor swimming pool at the time. However, by the early 1930s, it had fallen into disrepair and was no longer profitable as a hotel. In 1932, the hotel was purchased by Otto C. Leitner, a publisher and collector of antiques. Leitner converted the building into a museum, which opened to the public in 1948. Today, the Leitner Museum is one of St. Augustine's most popular attractions, featuring a diverse collection of art and artifacts from around the world. The museum's 3 floors are filled with displays of fine art, furniture, porcelain, glassware, and other decorative objects. In addition to its collection of antiques, the museum is also home to a number of fascinating exhibits, including a display of vintage mechanical musical instruments and a collection of original works by Louis Comfort Tiffany. The Leitner Museum has been recognized as one of the best museums in the United States, and it continues to draw visitors from around the world. Its history as the former Hotel Alcazar and its association with the legendary Ghost Bride only add to its allure as a must-see destination for those interested in the paranormal and haunted history. St. Augustine is the oldest continuously inhabited European settlement in the United States, having been founded by Spanish explorers in 1565. Over the centuries, the city has seen its fair share of battles, epidemics, and natural disasters, all of which have left their mark on its history and contributed to its reputation as one of the most haunted cities in America. One of the most famous haunted locations in St. Augustine is the Castillo de San Marcos, a 17th-century fortress that was built to protect the city from attacks by sea. Visitors to the fortress have reported hearing strange noises, seeing ghostly figures, and feeling a sense of unease in certain areas of the fort. Another well-known haunted location in St. Augustine is the St. Augustine Lighthouse, which dates back to 1874. Over the years, there have been numerous reports of paranormal activity at the lighthouse, including sightings of ghostly figures, mysterious voices, and unexplained lights. Other haunted locations in St. Augustine include the Huguenot Cemetery, the Old Jail, and the Tolomato Cemetery, all of which have their own ghost stories and legends. In addition to its haunted locations, St. Augustine is also home to a number of ghost tours and paranormal investigation groups, which offer visitors a chance to explore the city's haunted history and perhaps even encounter a ghostly presence themselves. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, there is no denying that St. Augustine's haunted history is a fascinating and important part of the city's cultural heritage and a testament to the enduring power of the human imagination. There's another ghost stories and legends associated with St. Augustine's haunted locations. At the Castillo de San Marcos, visitors have reported seeing the ghost of a Spanish soldier standing guard on the walls of the fortress. Some have even claimed to have heard the sound of cannon fire and the cries of soldiers in battle. The St. Augustine Lighthouse is said to be haunted by the ghost of a former lighthouse keeper named Peter Rasmussen, who fell to his death from the top of the lighthouse in 1859. Visitors have reported seeing his ghostly figure walking the grounds of the lighthouse, and some have even claimed to have felt a ghostly hand on their shoulder. The old jail, which dates back to the late 19th century, is said to be haunted by the ghosts of former inmates and their families. Visitors have reported hearing strange noises, seeing ghostly figures, and feeling a sense of dread in certain areas of the jail. The Huguenot Cemetery is rumored to be haunted by the ghost of a young girl named Elizabeth, who died of yellow fever in the 19th century. Visitors have reported seeing her ghostly figure wandering the cemetery at night, and some have even claimed to have heard her ghostly voice calling out for her mother. The Tullamado Cemetery is said to be haunted by the ghosts of former residents of St. Augustine, including Spanish soldiers, Native Americans, and African slaves. Visitors have reported seeing ghostly figures walking among the gravestones, and some have even claimed to have felt a cold breeze or a ghostly touch on their skin. These are just a few of the many ghost stories and legends associated with St. Augustine's haunted locations. Whether you believe in the paranormal or not, there is no denying the city's rich history and the important role that its haunted locations play in preserving its cultural heritage. I can provide more information on some of the other haunted locations in St. Augustine. One of the most famous haunted locations in St. Augustine is the Casa de la Paz, also known as the House of Peace. The house was built in the late 18th century and was once owned by a wealthy family of Spanish descent. Over the years, the house has been the site of numerous ghost sightings and unexplained phenomena, including strange noises, ghostly apparitions, and even poltergeist activity. Another haunted location in St. Augustine is the Spanish Military Hospital, which was built in the late 1700s and was used to treat soldiers and civilians during the Spanish colonial period. Visitors to the hospital have reported hearing strange noises and seeing ghostly figures, including the ghost of a soldier who is said to have died in the hospital's surgery room. The oldest house museum complex, which dates back to the 18th century, is also said to be haunted. Visitors have reported seeing ghostly apparitions and feeling a sense of unease in certain areas of the house, particularly the attic and the kitchen. The Simon Esfecio House, which was built in the early 19th century, is another haunted location in St. Augustine. The house was once a boarding house for travelers and has been the site of numerous ghost sightings and unexplained phenomena, including the ghost of a former owner who is said to still haunt the premises. These are just a few of the many haunted locations in St. Augustine, each with its own unique history and ghostly tales. Whether you believe in the paranormal or not, a visit to these haunted locations can be a fascinating and spine-chilling experience.